Hello, YouTube. Hello, YouTube. It's your boy B3, and I'm very excited today because we are reviewing a figure I've wanted in my collection since I was in, like, high school or whenever the hell Marvel's Siege event happened. It is the Hasbro Marvel Legends The Void Build-A-Figure. Void is also known as Dark Sentry. He is Sentry's arch-foe and, spoiler alert, alter ego. Yes, he turns into this specific form of the Void at the end of Marvel's Siege event. And I love, let me tell you, folks, I love the original Marvel Knights Sentry book. I love Bob Reynolds as a character. That original Sentry book changed the way I think about superheroes and supervillains. If I could get like a signed trade of that one day, I could die happy. Let me tell you, folks. Let me tell you. Amazing. And I've always wanted a figure of this specific look of the Void, and they finally gave it to us. When this puppy was announced, I jismed. I creamed, my friends. I legit filled my britches until it itches. 100% I did. And he's pretty amazing. Some of the things that make him great also kind of hold him back in a way. But I didn't buy any of the figures for him. I just bought him whole on eBay. The seller was amazing, by the way. But God, I spent quite a lot of money on this guy, admittedly. But so many of the figures he came with, I only want Justice. He's the only one from the wave I want. I'll get like a loose Justice that someone bought just for the Build-A-Figure part. But he's really gorgeous. He's got this translucence going on, and you know I'm a sucker for translucent figures, but also it's exactly the effect I would have chosen for the Void. Oh, it's like he's not there, but he is there. Oh, God. Oh, and he's got the multiple eyes. Look at that fucking Trigon-looking ass. And I love what they did with the mouth. It's fully sculpted and stuff inside there. He's got like a esophagus. You can see it's like the glow of it. It's like the Sentry is inside him. And that is true. It's amazing the amount of detail they put into this guy. Oh my lord, like I'm already biased towards the Void, but because the Sentry is my favorite larger-than-life Marvel character. But I mean, holy shit. That also means I'm going to judge it harsher, and I'm going to want more from it, you know? Look at his weird little feet. Look at those freakish little toes. Ugh. It's like when your fucking aunt walks around the house barefoot. It's like, what are you doing, lady? Oh, but I actually checked some pictures of him to see how accurate he was before the review, and these little tendrils in the front are all accurate. And there were points when he had more of these coming out of his back, but, you know, you can only have so much, you know? I think this is a good amount for a figure. As much as I wish they were articulated, I understand why they aren't. You know, like, this is a big figure, and it took a lot to make him. And if you made them articulated, it would come out of the it would come out of the budget of the figure that they came with. So your Power Princess probably wouldn't have accessories or something. I don't know. As long as Justice is okay. He's the only one I want. But he's really cool. I also think he might have been a little thinner in the comic. But I mean, I like the thickness. It'll help him hold up these big old boys. He kind of has to be thick. But damn, do I love this. Fuck. I haven't been cursing this much in reviews lately, but I'm just so excited. Magnificent detail all over him. I don't think there's a single reused part on this guy. It's no wonder that he's such a wanted Build-A-Figure. Wow. Now we're going to do articulation. He's kind of... It can be a lot to hold him. But we're going to do our best here. Up and down on the head. You know, it wobbles all around. And side to side. Pretty cool. I kind of wish the chin wasn't yellow, though. Admittedly, that kind of does stick out when you tilt him. But it's worth it to have this mouth. God, he's gorgeous. What a magnificent figure. And then on the torso, you see there's nothing on the waist, but you get like a crunch and a turn at the top of the torso. You kind of got to move his arms up to get him to turn, but that works. God, look at him. He's so cool. I can't stand it. But that makes up for there being nothing in the waist, I suppose. Oh well. Got forward on the legs, not really any back because he has a bodacious hard plastic bussy. In and out on the legs, but it does hit the grubs. Oh! You have a thigh swivel, double, as in knee bend, ankle pivot, and he doesn't have peg holes, which I thought was odd, by the way. Wanted to point that out. No peg holes, and up and down on the feeties. Though he probably would benefit from peg holes. I mean, the dude is pretty back heavy, so he should have peg holes. That's actually a huge flaw in this figure. He needs peg holes. I know his feet are thin, but that's almost more of a reason he needs peg holes. You're gonna have to get like a Tamashi stand to go on his back, or put him in the back of the display up against the wall, because he can stand, but you know, a sufficient enough shake and he will topple. I guarantee it. Also, there's the arm articulation, forward and back, in and out. Pretty cool. I had some trouble getting the arms in him, but the rest of him popped in super easy. And then you rotate-o, beto, double elbow bend, rotation, and forward and back. Now, he did have accessories. You can see he has these open claw hands, but he also comes with fist hands. You know, his hands come on and off pretty easy, but they don't flop out. You know, the fist hands are about what you would expect. Big veiny hands. They're pretty cool. I don't know if these are reused, but I don't think the claws are. I'm going to display him with the claw hands because it's much more monstrous. Oh god, I love this figure. I'm gonna die. Now, in our last review of the Sentry, we actually tried putting the Void's hands on him, and they do fit. Because I had some gripes about the Sentry. He came with a Void head, but no Void hands. I actually had a lot of gripes about the Sentry. Yes, I have Sentry and Void bias, but I don't think it really affected me on the Sentry's review. If anything, it did make me judge him harsher. But I tried to pop his head off to see if his head would go on the Sentry figure, but when I pulled it out, the ball joint stayed in the head, and it came out of the neck. So I wasn't able to try it. But his hands will fit on your Walgreens Sentry. Just a fun fact. Now that we've got all that out of the way, we can do size comparisons, and we're gonna have to do one at a time because he's gigantic. Alright, well, I think the first comparison goes without saying. I've already kind of waved him in your faces a couple times. It is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Sentry. So here's Bob, chilling with the Void. I think this is great. You know, the Void kind of overcomes him. He's bigger, he's menacing. The Void is usually bigger than the Sentry. Not always. Sometimes he's roughly the same size, but typically these days the Void is depicted as being a big old boy. And I do think this is maybe about right for when he first takes over Bob at the end of Siege. Maybe he grows a little as the fight goes on. He definitely gets more arms. It's been a while since I read Siege, but I have read it several times. I think these look great together. And I was actually saying in the last review, if you take the Hyperion mold Sentry, and then you have this one next to him in the display with the Void head on, and maybe you're, and then you see he's lost weight, but he's kind of emaciated. Is that right? In the skull as well. And so it's like, it'd be like him transforming. You'd have your regular Sentry, Sentry with the Void head, and then full Void. But yeah, let's get him out of the way. Show him with a Spider-Man, radioactive Spider-Man. Here's one of my favorite ones I got recently. I got him on vacay. It is the Ben Reilly Spider-Man Beyond Hasbro Marvel Legend. I think that's pretty great. The Void would kick his fucking ass. I'm sorry, folks. He would. Now, how about a lady? we gotta show some ladies. Here's kind of a recent one. It's from the Venom Space Knight 2-pack. It is Mania. And she's got a lot of reused parts from the young girl figures, but she's got cool new parts too. She looks pretty good with the Void, and she's kind of, you know, a darker aesthetic on a figure. Oh, hold on. Let me grab something. There we go. Let's get her out of the way. Show her with another lady. This is a bigger figure that's not a Build-A-Figure. It is the Marvel Legends Thundra. And I was thinking of selling this figure, but I like Thundra. I really like, specifically because of the Jeff Loeb Hulk, Red Hulk stuff. I liked her teaming up with him. So I don't want to get rid of her. So what I need is for Hasbro to make an updated one, because this one's really out of date. Give us a new one, Hasbro. Please and thank you. But yeah, I think she looks pretty good next to the Void as well. Zip. Anyway, that's 2 dudes and 2 ladies, right? Now how about some MCU figures? Yes, those were all comic cuckolds. And now we need some movie... I don't know, some fetish that starts with an M. Movie... mommy bloggers. I don't know, whatever. Here's the Spider-Man No Way Home Final Swing Suit Spidey. I reviewed him recently. By the way, all the figures I'm showing in size comparisons I have already reviewed. So you can watch the reviews of them if you want. Most of them are really recent, except for the Thundra. But the rest of them are all pretty recent. Oh, except for Thundra and this next one. Jan Rog from the Captain Marvel movie. Looks like the Sentry could just swallow him up. Terrifying. Imagine him like them fighting, and then he wraps the tendrils around him, and then he removes the tendrils, and Jan Rog's just gone. You don't know where he is. He's been turned into molecules. Which is a power Sentry has, and therefore the Void has it. It's terrifying. Anyway, let's get Jan Rog out of there. And let's show the Void with some other Build-A-Figures. A fella and a lady fella. First up, we got Space Knight Venom here. Now, the original Space Knight Venom was a Build-A-Figure. This is the 2-pack re-release that comes with the new head that's interchangeable with the old one, and also the 2 new effect parts. He's just the one I have around, but it is the same body as the Build-A-Figure. That's pretty cool. I'd love to watch that fight because Venom is my favorite Marvel character. But, God, I love the Void. Anyway, let's yoink him out of there. And this next one's kind of been my go-to Build-A-Figure for reviews recently. Might have to change. It is SPDR. You'll recognize her from the Spider-Verse comics, maybe the movies. Evangelion Spider-Girl, as I like to call her. Which was my first thought as soon as I saw her. I have her first appearance comic, first printing. Good stuff. But yeah, she's actually taller than him, but he's much wider. Yeah. I still really like it, you know? It feels like she could be a challenge, even though we all know damn well that she would not be. The only reason the Void hasn't killed as many Marvel heroes as he could have is because he just likes fucking with them too much. And he knows that. The Void, he's a chaotic force of balance. And I know that is contradictory, but that's like the point. That's like the whole point. The like hypocrisy and the mirrors of superheroes and their villains, and it's you gotta read Marvel Knights Sentry, my guys. Fellas, lady fellas, you gotta read it. It's insane. I mean, knowing that the Sentry and the Void are the same going into that book will make it a lot less powerful, but it's still a magnificent book. There's still a mystery to it, even without knowing who the Void is. So, with all that, what are my final thoughts on the Hasbro Marvel Legends Void Build-A-Figure? I would buy this again. I mean, what a magnificent creature! Look upon him and tremble. This is the figure I have wanted from Hasbro for over a decade. I have wanted a Void for so long, And we finally have a proper Void. And not just that, he's my favorite form of the Void. Holy shit, I could die. So happy right now. Magnificent. I love him. I love everything about him. He could move a little easier. He's got flaws. You know, every figure's going to have some kind of flaw. He's super bag heavy and doesn't have peg holes. That's a flaw. 100%, that is a flaw. He could maybe have some waist articulation, but even if he did, that would mean that you couldn't attach these. You see how they go on the waist? If he had waist articulation, it would fuck with these. And I'd rather have these. And yeah, they aren't articulated, but I didn't expect them to be. I'm sure there's some customizer out there that'll do it eventually. Like, you know, when they released that Doc Ock figure, and his tentacles weren't bendable. He was in... Actually, I think he was in the SPDR Build-A-Figure wave, but he didn't come with a piece for her. And all these customizers made bendable tentacles for him. I feel like that might happen with this guy. Like, customizers will be like, hey, give me fucking $80 and I'll make all these articulated. I love him. I love the little arthropod. I'm a big arthropod fan, but both in real, like, modern times and paleontology, so having like an arthropod Void is even better. I'm ranting at this point. I'm gonna let you guys go. Look, he's got good articulation. He looks beautiful. He has accessories, and the weird thing is they didn't even need to give him accessories. He would have been fine without fists. I don't like that big yellow chin, but, you know, you tilt the head down, you can't see it. You can't see it in most angles, but when you do see it, it really stands out. You could have painted the bottom of that. But all in all, a magnificent Build-A-Figure. I think this is a figure that really stands out among the ranks of Build-A-Figures, much like SPDR did. There are a lot of Build-A-Figures that are just like basic retools of other Build-A-Figures, like Wendigo is just Sasquatch. And then there was another one recently that was just an old Abomination figure. And some other stuff like that. But this is a really unique one. Like, his parts, much like SPDR, aren't going to get reused a lot. So, and you know how Hasbro and all these companies are. They think about what parts can we reuse. So when they make a figure like these, it's very... You gotta get it. Get this guy. Maybe he'll go down in price. Right now, he's pretty pricey. I'm making payments on him. That's how pricey he was. Only 3 payments left out of 4. Thank you, PayPal. But the thing is, when the Thunderbolts movie comes out, we already know the Sentry is going to be in it. So the Void is probably going to be in it too. I can't imagine the Sentry appearing in the Void not being an element of it. That would completely defeat the point of the Sentry, like, as a character. So, if the Void's popular, he's gonna get more expensive. Remember when Man-Thing showed up in Werewolf by Night special, and then his Build-A-Figure skyrocketed in price? Yeah, the same thing might happen to the Void. And I think people might be expecting that, because it's already really expensive. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. I can hear the rain coming in. And I'm also really thirsty and tired. It's late. I only have the time to review figures late at night. So I'm always doing these at like midnight and shit. That's it. Thank you all once again. See you all next time. Bye for now.